Hello, everybody. Welcome in, welcome back. Welcome to another episode of 17 and some change. I'm EcuDez17. I'm here to bring you my 2 cents on this Wednesday, on this hump day. Glad you guys could make it. This is our last episode of the year. So it's going to be the last episode of season one. Um, Not sure if and exactly when we'll do a season two. I'm leaning more in the direction of doing a season two. Um, but right now there's not like a set date for that. But you guys will certainly be the first to know. So um so I will start off by in this episode, I'm going to tell you quickly about a couple recent L's that I had to eat. One more literally than the other. And then I'm going to blind answer some dating um, questions. Um, and then after that, um, what was I gonna what was I gonna do after like the questionnaire and stuff like that? Um, Not entirely sure, but that will come back to me. That's fine. I got this really cool pen as a gift the other day. Um, yeah. So one of the L's that I took recently is in regards to the Madden franchise that I was running. Um, they had me as a coach, and so I was trying to post the franchise on here. We talked about it a little bit last episode. I was trying to post the franchise on here, and kind of just show the rebuilding process and like my mindset behind all aspects of the rebuild and stuff like that. I felt like there's a philosophy to everything, and I kind of wanted you guys to be able to see behind the veil in regards to my football philosophy live in action. As I had stated, things were going um, not so well. I mean, the team started out with a 1-10 record, but then we kind of hit our stride, and we finished the year 5-12. So we ended up winning 4 out of our last 6 games, and I was excited about like the off season and bringing in some people and doing addition by subtraction and stuff like that. But what happened was, I guess I failed to turn coach firing off, and so my coach got fired. I um I picked it back up with the Bears, but it just didn't seem the same. Um, like I got hired by the Bears, traded for Shador Sanders, but it just wasn't the same. And I recorded a video explaining what happened. Haven't posted that. Um, and since then I've taken down the original preseason games that I had played, that I had posted. Um, I am restarting the season, but I'm going at a much spread out pace, and I'm not uh, as of now. I'm not. There's no plans on recording this one. Um, it's too bad. Like there were some good moments in there. There was some good film, and I don't feel bad for me. Like I don't really feel bad for me. Like yeah, I wanted to. Um, I feel bad for what I can't contribute. Like and also, yeah, I did want the traffic. Like I wanted the traffic from those Madden games to be able to like find these videos and stuff like that. But no, I felt bad for the viewer. Like I felt bad for like anybody who's missing out on being able to see like being able to watch it. Like anybody who wanted to watch that rebuilds who doesn't get to now. I feel bad for those individuals. Um, you know, I'm checking now. I mean, I was thinking like too though, like um there's tons of things though. Like there's tons of Madden gamers and stuff like that, you know. Um for like people to watch. I mean, yeah, me, I was showing like the whole games and stuff like that. And I guess other people were too. Yeah, I'm just on YouTube now looking at if there's any other content creators that do this that were doing something similar. And there are, but 53,000 views, 22,000 views. Damn, you know, maybe I will. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and I kind of just lost like the desire to like repost it or whatever, or like to keep filming, um, to keep filming the games and posted the games and stuff like that. That was really unfortunate, you know. Um, but we'll see. I know I've had picked up at least one subscriber who subscribed after watching like the off season and stuff like that. But I deleted all those videos from my YouTube and uh they're probably not going back. I'm just hesitating now because I mean my mind was made up for the most part. I was like 80% sure that I wasn't going to try to repost anything, but you know, after you know looking on YouTube and seeing all the other people doing it, I don't know. Um uh I'll have to think on that a little bit and stuff like that. So that was one L that I took, you know, and then and it's well, I'm gonna do it anyways. It kind of sucks, like replaying like a whole season or whatever that you already played through. But um, we'll see what comes of that. Um, but that was the first L that I took, and hold on one second, grab some water. All right, we're back. So the other L that I took was in the kitchen. I was making some pork shoulders strips and and I guess what you want to do is you want to cook them slowly. You want to go like low heat first. Um, because if you go, I thought I did medium. I didn't think I did high heat. But if you go too high on the heat, these things like their muscles like spasm up, and like the meat turns like super rubbery, like on the outside before it ever gets cooked. Like, and it's not even cooked on the inside. And so that was really disappointing. And I'm just giving you guys a warning and a heads up on that and stuff like that. So today, I guess our main topic, I told Grok, I was like, yo, sometimes I use GPT, sometimes I use Grok. Oh, I guess Grok is in some trouble. Because when I threw the name in the headline in the web browser earlier today, I got a lot of news articles talking about how Grok is in trouble for like honoring the request of users to portray various act mainly actresses, like famous females, like in scantily clad outfits. So they would say, "Oh, portray this and that person in a swimsuit or whatever." So and Grok was like, "Yeah, sure, 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 I'll do it. No problem. Yeah." Um, it is like I know the our current first lady is really going hard against like AI, deep fakes involving notorious or famous females or just females in general. You know, Chat GPT is a lot more like politically correct than Grok. I've found through using both of them. It's funny, like it really is like Chat GPT does sound like your liberal friend or your liberal associate, whereas Grok sounds like a conservative person that you might know. Um, you can I can kind of you know read in between the lines on kind of like the way that they talk and stuff like that. But it's all fine. I told Grok to formulate the top five most asked questions in terms of dating. I saw what the first question was, and I'm gonna try to blind answer the other four. Um, Even the first one, I didn't really, you know, think too hard on it. Um, and again, for those of you who don't know, in my teenage years, I considered myself a pickup artist. Um, I I had pretty good, like if you would call it, I guess you would call it success in my 20s. Um, I was able to I was able to do things that I never thought I would ever get to accomplish. I Yeah, I checked off a lot of boxes in my 20s in regards to like um in regards to dating. Um in my 30s, not so much. I mean, my mental health has been catching up to me. in that regard. Um, in so far as like um building, maintaining relationships and stuff like that, and just like I've it's just not something I've really um, been like free enough to pursue to even it hasn't been in the cards for the past handful of years. Um, I mean, I do get signals all the time. I you know, I have followed through briefly and had a few pretty successful dates, but it's not where I'm at right now. I got other stuff that I'm working through right now. Um, I I can't be doing the whole building relationship thing. Um, and I don't even, you know, I'm looking for a partner anyways. So meaning if I'm not building relationships, then I'm also not like having casual encounters, if you know what I mean. Like, um, so I'm not gaming. My point, the whole point, the whole thing I'm trying to say is like I haven't been gaming. Like I'm not really gaming. Um, so when I give this advice, when I answer these questions, I'm not answering it as freaking Don Juan the John King Kong or whatever, right? I'm just answering it as somebody who's seen some things and been there, done that type shit. You know what I mean? But so let's kind of get into it. Let's see, what they're asking and if there's any insight that I might be able to add for you guys. If there's anything I can say that you guys haven't heard, then it will be that would be mostly worth it. So the first question I see here says, "How often should I text her, or how much texting is normal in a relationship slash dating?" Well, so I'm not gonna be answering in terms of a long term relationship, in terms of like what's a good amount of texting when you're, partner when you have like a life partner or whatever. Um, because that would be different than if you're just casually dating somebody or whatever. So I guess you would be talking about in one of three scenarios. It would be in the courtship phase, in the relationship phase if it's casual versus the relationship phase if it's monogamous and long term. So I'll leave out the last one, the monogamous long term relationships. What's the appropriate amount of texting in those? I will speak on the courtship and maybe early dating process, and what I can say is something similar to what I've written in my first book. um that is there's a chapter, it's called Text Dash Phone, and the idea is that it's very difficult to continuously amplify attraction, um, or sustain attraction on the long term vis-a-vis text message. Um, so if you're using your text message as like the primary form of engagement, or of banter, that's not that's not the best bet. Text messages are kind of like they're kind of like not scrubs, shrubs. They're kind of like shrubs, or um, little dry sticks that you throw on a fire to kind of keep it going. Ultimately, you want to um, be talking on the phone, and you want to be um, you want to see each other in person, right? Um, Text messaging can be a great way to um, temporarily um, raise anticipation. Um, and it can serve as a little platform to do some jokes here and there and checking in with one another, but things can get really misinterpreted via text at the same time, and I say text um, whenever something clever comes to your mind, or whenever you think of the person, and you want to um, say what's up. But it's not the best way to get to know somebody. It's not the best way um, to advance in any meaningful way. You know what I mean? It does give you a little bit of time to think about what you want to say and stuff like that. But no, it's just a little thing. Like, and I know, like, some dudes are like, oh, well, you don't want to over text and you don't want to under text, and like that just makes you like overthink like all your texts. You know what I'm saying? Like, um, some dudes like they can't. Some dudes they can't even really handle like an unanswered text or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll send a text, and then you'll feel good, and then within 5-10 minutes, you're like, fuck, they didn't text me back, and now you're in a existential crisis. That happens to some dudes. You know, um, but yeah, man, there's obviously there is too much. Obviously there is too little. It's just one of those calibration things based on like the individual and the circumstance, right? Um, yeah. The second question here says, "How do I know if she likes me or is interested?" Um, I mean, her. It's hard to just say like, oh, her eyes will like sparkle, but they will. Her eyes will light up like a Christmas tree, and her attention will be more prolonged on you. You know, a lot of women don't like how obvious they have to make it, right? Or a lot of like maybe her posture, her feet will be faced towards you. Um, that's like a really small sign, and it could be nothing. Maybe she'll like flick her hair back um, when talking to you. That's also a very small sign, which could be nothing. But you know, a really wise man once told me like if they want it, they'll make it happen. Like they'll let it be like women. That's believe it or not, like that's their job. Like that's not their job, but like that's what they do for the most part. I can't broad brush things too much, but by and large, they're very good at putting themselves in your vicinity, being available when they like you. Like if a woman likes you, you're gonna start seeing her like all the time. Like she's just gonna pop up like all over the place, and and like she'll always like she'll have availability just open all the time. Like she'll start talking to you about like her plans or like her lack of plans and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Um, she'll definitely try to not definitely, but a lot of times she'll try to like laugh at any joke that you make, even if it's not uh even if it's not funny. And that's a big one. You know what I mean? If they're just try to caricature it, right? Think of like how would Disney do it, right? Disney would show you the woman kind of like leaning in with hands propped under her chin and eyes wide open, big smile. Everything the dude says, she's ha 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 ha. She's gonna be laughing about it, swooning. You know what I mean? Maybe touching him, stuff like that. And whereas the opposite, she's gonna be like ha, like just like all his jokes are gonna fall flat. She's gonna be like, you know what I mean? If we're caricature, so you know, I know for some men, it's tough when you're dealing with women that are like just naturally like flirty, like all over the place. Then you start like thinking like any chick that's like smiling at you or any chick that enjoys attention is into you. You know what I mean? So that's what you got to get past. Like, all right, so like these are some initial signals, like smiling and laughing and brushing the hair and pointing the feet at a person. Like these are some of the small signals, but these are also signals that like friendly people could be putting off as well. So then you got to see like is she if she's mentioning her boyfriend, she either doesn't like you that much, or she's trying to see like if you're still gonna fuck with her, like once that's out, like you care. You know what I mean? Like she's trying to see like if you care. Either she doesn't like you or she's trying to see like if you don't care or whatever about that. And if you're gonna continue like um with the same energy. This says, how do I approach a woman or ask her out without being creepy? Well, the funny thing is, like, it is unfortunately really true. Um, when they talk about like some things said by an attractive person is like what's creepy out of one dude's mouth is it could the same thing could be sexy out of another's. Um, Obviously, like you don't want to be explicit with strangers. I think that's typically self-explanatory, and it's 99% of the time not a good move. But um, I don't necessarily like approaching strangers. Um, I mean, I don't like approaching strangers. I haven't done it in a very long time. Um, so the approach, I mean, you're going into like approach theory. You could do, you want to know how to open. Like you could do situational openers, you could do direct openers. It's just that caveat without being creepy. It's like, well, dude, I don't know. You have to like deliver it like I, sh- creepy is like so much less of how you say, so much less of like what you say and how you approach than it is like who you are, and it's hard to say that, but like um and that one, that's always like that's always a tough caveat, because you have a lot of like really well meaning men who are socially awkward, and that incongruency can some can sometimes be classified and come across as creepy, and then if they're ugly on top of it, that's how you get it. That's what creepy is. It's being unsocialized, not having like the right vibe, the right tempo. And a lot of these pickup artists, like they tell you to like that congruency will come in time, and stuff like that. And but by time it does, you're so fake. You know what I mean? Like if you're sitting there and you're trying to like get congruent in your talking to females by like approaching a ton of them and like running game, or just by running game in general, like by the time you become proficient, you've also become like fake as fake as hell. You know what I'm saying? Um, Direct openers still kind of work. You know what I mean? Particularly to girls to women who are giving you like the look. If you catch a woman like looking at you like a handful of times or whatever, um, then something like um, just wanted to see. Um, that was an old one. Just trying to see if the personality matches the face. Um, but you look friendly or high. Um, you know, as far as um, my thing is like, okay, you do. I like the direct because okay, if you do an indirect opener, then what? You do an indirect opener, now you have to sit there and make some other observation to keep the conversation going, or like do some small talk and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And it's like, hey, if you're willing to, I don't like small talking with strangers and stuff like that, and so with me, it's I used to though. I used to, and you would do like these routines. You would tell like little stories. You would have all these little quirky things to say, all these little jokes and stuff like that to say. Um, but I'm, but it's really like, hey, you're pretty. Are you single? Do you have a phone number? Um, or any variation of that is suffice. Like, um, wow, you're really cute. Um, can I have your phone number? Um, that's direct. That's um straight to the point. You don't have to sit there and play volleyball and stuff like that. Um, yeah. It says, how do I get out of the friend zone or make her see me romantically? I mean, if you're, I mean, how did you end up there? Like, why are you there? Like, get out of the friend zone or make her see me romantically. Like, if you if you got put in the friend zone, that doesn't mean she'll never fuck you, but like, no, like she probably won't ever see you romantically either. Like, she could still fuck you. Like, a lot of dudes and chicks who are friends get really intimate with each other emotionally, feel really safe with one another, and tension builds and they fuck. And that happens all the time. Um, but like, if you're friend zoned, it's a whole different world. Like, it's a whole different dynamic. Like, um, some women will put you there, um, and not super common. Like, I don't want to, but some women will put you there, and it's kind of a tease, and it's a fun tease for them because you're not, you know, because then it's really like on their terms, and they might find you cute, they might find you, attractive enough to like be around and even mess around with, but they'll put you there just so they can make you wait and they can like tease you and have fun with it. Uh, okay, whatever. Um, some women like they have like orbiters, and that's what people in the friend zone are and stuff like that. Some women they like just prefer um male company and stuff like that. But um I'd say 9 times out of 10, um maybe even higher, like if she puts you in the friend zone, it's she doesn't see you as like a potential like long-term solution. You know what I mean? Or number one solution, I should say. Like she's got better options, and like that might be, or she's either got better options or she's keeping her options open. And that might be hard to hear. Everybody wants to be the stud or whatever. But we live in a day and age now, man. It's guys, it's not the 90s anymore. It's not the 2000s. Like you got a very small select group of studs at the top. Um, and now women are studs themselves. You know what I mean? Women are pimps now too. Um, Women control the game way more now than they ever did. Um, you know what I mean? Women pretty much run the game, and they know that for the most part. For the most part, right? Now, so how do you get out of the friend zone? You don't try to like it would be you would have to be a different person, right? Like you'd have to be a different person, and like um you'd have to disappear and come back as a different person, and that's stupid. That's stupid. Like I know, like actually, how do I get out of the friend zone? You know how you get out of the friend zone with a woman? You go kiss another woman and let her see that, and now you're not in the friend zone anymore. But no, like, and that's also like a young person thing. That's not really, and I mean most of my audience is young, so like just keep it for what it is. Like don't try forcing shit. Like don't try forcing things for what they're not. Just like appreciate her company. You know what I mean? Like don't worry about like getting out of the friend zone. Appreciate her company, learn from her, like enjoy having that presence around you. Enjoy that tension, or don't, but don't sit there like, oh, if I'm around long enough, it'll be my turn. You know what I mean? It might very well someday sexually be your turn, because I'm telling you, like that's how these things usually work out. But that's you'll even blow that if that's the only thing on your mind. You know what I'm saying? So either don't play that game at like don't participate in that, um, or appreciate it for what it is. It's not, you know, if you guys actually are friends and like you guys do stuff together and she's spending time at your house or whatever, or you're spending time at her house, um, just like I said, appreciate it, learn from her. You know, that'll make you more comfortable around women. And then if you find somebody, then her feelings might change. But don't try to force things that don't exist. Um, And finally, it says, how do I deal with rejection, ghosting, or being cheated on slash healing after a breakup? How do I deal with rejection? Oh, these are different things. Rejection implies that we're talking about a stranger, right? And to me, I don't know. Being rejected by a stranger was never bothersome because I had plenty of examples of the opposite. And, somebody told me one time, like, let's say you're at a dance and you're like, do you want to dance? Nah, okay, that's fine. Do you want to dance? Nah, I. Hey, do you want to dance? And like, the world is a dance floor. Treat the world like a dance floor if that's what you're going for. You know what I mean? So individual rejection, it's like, all right, like there's so many billions of people um and then ghosting is another thing, right? So rejection implies strangers. Strangers usually reject you. And then ghosting is usually like you started like a little bit and then the person disappeared, didn't show up for a date, stopped texting you, whatever it is, and you just gotta move on from that and stuff like that. You just got on to the next one in regards to that as well. And then the last one, it says, or being cheated on, and it's like, all right, now that's a whole different story. Like that's a whole different category. Like I don't know, you know, that sucks. That sucks. I know. I don't know. To me, it's like that's kind of. I would, I'm the type of person. I'm the type of personality. I would think that would break my heart, and it probably would if it was like like a committed, like if I was under the impression that we were like partners in life, then that would probably hurt more than words can describe. Um, Otherwise, it would just turn me off to the person. If it was just like somebody I was just like dating casually and I found out they cheated, then I would just be turned off to the person. Um, but if it, destroys you, like if it's your wife or something like that, I don't fucking know how you cope with that. I don't know how you cope with that. I don't know how dudes do cope with that. Like, um, I know I call it a red line as far as I'm concerned. Like that relationship's over as far as I'm concerned. But you say shit like that and there's a certain subset of individuals that would want to cheat even more. That would make them want to cheat. Like, yeah, the only thing you can't do in our relationship is cheat on me. Then they're like, oh, I want to cheat. But I don't know, bro. Like that's a scary thing, guys. Like I and it sucks because it's like, how old are you? You know what I mean? Like you only have so many like, oh, okay, you got cheated on at 20, so it's time to like get back on your grind and like build yourself and turn into a superhero. You know what I mean? You're gonna start hitting the gym and like being like you're gonna reinvent yourself. You're gonna come back like a phoenix out of the ashes because you just got cheated on in your 20s. Okay, all right. So then it happens to you like in your 30s. You're gonna do the same thing? Okay, you can in your 30s, superhero, reinvent yourself. Superhero. You know, then what if it happens in your 50s, in your 40s, in your 50s? So is the answer to always like reinvent yourself and get back into the dating game stronger than before, better than before? You know, even effing uh uh I'm not gonna use his name. There are there are world famous Hall of Fame uh, NBA basketball players who have been cheated on. Right? There's some people you hear that they got cheated on, and you're like, wow, if this person, Adonis, fucking, if this person can get cheated on, like, what hope do you have to not? But, you hope you find a woman, a person that is so righteous and has such a strong character that when they choose who they're gonna build with, then that's it, and that's final. Somebody the previous idea was like, oh, sometimes a woman will be like so obsessed with you that she's not even looking at anybody else. And it's like, okay, yeah, this is true. This is true. How long does that last if it's a healthy obsession? And secondly, it's obsession typically isn't healthy. Um, and if it and if it and if it's not, then that's not good either, right? Oh, but you know, get back in the day. No, hopefully you find the type of and that's another big part. Like, it takes a lot of screening. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. How does the how does the person react to cheating? Like when she hears about like celebrities cheating, or like when she hears about somebody cheating in a game or something like that, like what's her like how does she feel about that? You want to learn the person's character before you make a commitment to them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But I'm going to leave it at that note, and we're going to wrap this up here. And I you guys will be the first to know when I pick this back up again. I mean, it might be as early it might be as early as a few weeks. It might be as late as a few months. Um, but you guys will be the first to know. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Um, I hope uh, I hope something was worth listening to. Something that you didn't know before, something you hadn't thought of, and I wish you all a really good New Year. Um, you know, to whatever extent, sometimes it is what we make it. Sometimes that's too simple, but to whatever extent you can make it good, try to do that. And no, I wish you all the best, and I will see you guys. Well, y'all will see me. Well, I'll be back at some point. Y'all see me when you see me. I'll see you when I see you. That type of thing. Okay? Goodbye.